Greninja is my favorite Pokemon, but the Shadow Greninja, it felt very difficult to find a good team around it. And finally, I was able to do it. You see it on the right side. This team is going to be amazing. We are going to have Gourgeist as our Scizor as well as the Clodsire in the back. And I climbed up to nearly 3,100 plus ranking with this team. And let's take a look at how this team is going to work. We're going to have here the Clodsire in the back, and I was nearly there where I kind of want to get rid of this Pokemon in the beginning before I even started doing battles, and I'm so happy that I didn't because it's so crucial. There are going to be multiple matches actually today where Clodsire was just coming in clutch in so many kind of ways. This Pokemon was absolutely fantastic, and I said in a video just only recently, I think in the top team video from PvP Poke for the Open Great League, I think this is one of the most underrated Pokemon, and I stand by that. I think this Pokemon is needing to have a little bit more usage because it's so strong. Alright, we're gonna start off here with a Talonflame against us. I go straight for the Hydro Cannon. I only lose if I go for a bait and the opponent can get a move off. And so, I just have such a big advantage immediately. I get 2 false moves in with my Greninja, which allows me to keep some energy for later on, and also allows me to get rid of the Volt Switch damage onto our Grass type that can resist it, as we're going to have super effective false move damage as well from our Gourgeist coming in here right now. Excel, we're going to use a shield against, and we're going to try our best to go for the Shadow Ball, which hopefully is going to be able to knock them out. But even if they don't go down here, I would have my Clodsire in the back, but they reveal that they have the Gaston in the back, and honestly, I feel like they should have rather used the shield early on, because now what is this Gaston going to do here? Like, there is not a lot that this Pokemon is going to be able to do. I'm going to use a shield here now, which is fine. But what I have to say is I'm a bit worried that I'm going to get farmed down here and then they have a ton of energy for my backline. So I'm going to go for the safest play in my opinion, which is swapping out to my Greninja, going for the Hydro Cannon and doing a ton of stab, shadow, boosted damage and nearly knocking out that Gaston with a neutral hit, as we can swap out into our Clodsire here. Clodsire can take usually 2 hits and we are going to be able to farm them down, winning us this battle. Alright, Ninetales against us. This is going to be, again, actually a very solid matchup, because most Ninetales currently are running Powder Snow. I barely see anyone not running Powder Snow, which actually makes Greninja a very solid answer, as it's going to be able to resist both Powder Snow as well as Water Boys, as well as Chilling Water, which they usually run. So like, you kind of are a hardwall to Ninetales. But here I go for better fast move timing, which in this case allows the opponent to go ahead and catch the move here onto their Feraligatr. They get 1 free fast move in, which I don't really like, but what I can do is I can go for a Night Slash now. So they have now 3 fast moves in, I can go for 1 more fast move myself, and I can swap out to catch the hit onto our Gourgeist. We got the boost here on our Shadow Greninja, but it wasn't enough to knock them out straight away. But we get now an Incinerate in against the Feraligatr, knocking them out. In comes the Jellicent, a Pokemon that's going to be quite weak against our Shadow Ball, which is going to land here hopefully as well. They still have a shield left, but it does not matter. We're going to get them super low, and in comes now their charge move. It has to be the Shadow Ball, otherwise they have no chance of winning this battle, and the Shadow Ball is going to take us down. In comes Clodsire, and the Ninetales is still there, and this is where the issue is kind of starting to appear. We don't have really anything against Ninetales anymore, because they caught the move early on. We're actually in a very bad position now, as now Clodsire is going to be aligned. We can still go for the Stone Edge, but they still have a shield, and they kind of played it really well, I have to say. As we're going to see here, Weather Ball is going to get us low, and we have not really a chance of winning this battle. Well done there, well played with the Ninetales. Great catch on the Feraligatr. Could have played most likely a bit better, but let's move on to the next opponent. We face off against a horrible late. Weakly tough against our Greninja is not what we want to see, but we have the face-up of the Gourgeist, and now we have unaligned switch clocks, and this is what I always love to have, because now my Greninja is very like never going to face that Weakly tough directly, as they're going to swap out into the Carbink, and this is kind of good for us. While they resist our fast move, they do take super effective damage here, and while it doesn't look like it because we were debuffed, I have Clodsire. And Clodsire is the one Pokemon that can completely destroy Carbink. Like, literally, there's not a single thing that this Pokemon can do here. And this is what I have to say as well. This team works so well because of the Clodsire. This is a fantastic Pokemon right now in the current meta. In comes Gaston. Yeah, okay, bad matchup for ourselves. But we can still go for an Earthquake, and this puts them down to range where Greninja can do something. And if you're wondering why are you going into Greninja and not into your Gourgeist, the reason for this is the Pokemon that we are facing are 2 times a Fairy type Pokemon, and I don't really want to have my Greninja against those, and so I rather keep my Greninja here against the opponent's Gastrodon, which works out really well as they go for a charge move here. The Body Slam is coming in, and I can go for the Seed Bomb, which they are catching on the Wigglytuff, which I'm totally okay with. I'm honestly totally okay with it. I can stop out into my Clodsire, pressure them with my fast move, and I maybe could have went for the Stone Edge straight away, but I will go for the Shield. It's gonna be the Swift, and with that I can go for the Poison Sting down. It's very risky, but it works out very nicely here, as we can go for the Stone Edge. We're knocking out the Carbink immediately here. There's no way they can survive this hit from this range. And in comes now also the Gastrodon, where we can go for another Stone Edge as well, which is also going to be enough to knock them out. And basically Clodsire destroyed, okay, not directly enough to knock them out. 1 in series is enough, and Clodsire basically destroyed the entire opponent here. Okay, I should have listened to my words that I said earlier. There's no point of going for a bait here, because the only thing how I can lose is if I go for the bait. And yeah, I don't strictly lose, and I don't actually say directly that this was a bad play, because what this play allows me is to pressure them guaranteed. I need to get rid of this Pokemon or to deal with whatever they're going to have in the bag, because I don't know what they're going to have there. Like, they could have anything, and so I let the move go. It's going to be the Poison Fang, and I can go for the full farm with Clodsire. And I was hoping that this is going to be now a Pokemon I can deal with. It's not going to be a Pokemon I can deal with. It's going to be the Bastion in the back. We are just getting destroyed here. We would have got somehow Switch Advantage. I would have been fine, but I didn't. And that, of course, is going to be quite a bit of a problem here. We are forced to shield up this move. There's nothing else I could do. And the Flamethrower is coming in here, which we are, again, shielding up, because otherwise we would go down. Shadow Ball's coming in here as well to knock them low. But what we have here as an issue is that I just have no way of damaging the opponent's Toedscruel with our Clodsire. If I would have run the Sludge Bomb here, I would have had at least a move that is neutral, which actually would have helped me out quite a bit in this matchup. And I do think it would have made a big difference in this matchup. But we don't. And so it doesn't really matter. So as you're gonna see, we're going to have the Earthquake coming through again, doing the most amount of damage I can. Of course, Sludge Bomb mostly would have knocked them at this point, but I can catch not only the move, I get also a free fast move in, which could help us out late game as it is coming in now. And I go straight for the move, which makes sense, because I think that the Bastion has quite a bit of energy, and I want to kind of get rid of them just generally. But there you go for the charge move now. Can I still win this battle? I have no idea. We have Clodsire with 1 HP, and we can go for the Stone Edge with it. This needs to be enough to knock them out. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to win this battle, and it is. And somehow, I went 4-1 in my first set, and what we see here is we get up to 3091 ELO with Shadow Greninja. But not everything is here to last, and we are going to encounter now a horrible lead for us. We have the Florges, which actually you are going to be fine in the 0 shields kinda, and even then now in the 1 shields if you land a hit. But what we have here as well as an issue is that they're actually running Moonblast, and they get the attack drop immediately. And this attack drop actually matters quite a bit, because this is a matchup where actually my Pokemon currently in the matchup is the best, and yeah, it's a 10% chance to drop the attack from a Moonblast. It's very rare, and it's going to change quite a bit here, because they would have been already way lower, like way lower than what they are currently. They would have been most likely in the red health already at this point. And they are not, and that is kind of unfortunate, because now Greninja is not anywhere close to knock them out with fast moves, which is maybe something that could have happened eventually if, most likely could have happened. But we're going to see the opponent trying to catch the move. It didn't work out, but they're going to have another Pokemon in the back that is just going to be impossible for us to deal with in the scenario that we're in right now. That is kind of more just a hard counter matchup here anyway, so like I'm going to be alright with that. They're going to go for the charge move, knock me out, have fun with that. All good, but let's see what's coming in here. Next, we're going to have, of course, our Greninja. I have to try to fully farm them down. It's not going to work. Like, it's realistically not going to work that I'm going to be able to knock out now 2 more Pokemon with, 1 more Pokemon, I think, only with 2 more shields is what I want to say. As we see the Dunsparce coming in, we're going to get the first one. We are going to go down. There was nothing I could have done. Like, realistically, there was absolutely nothing. And, yeah, good game to the opponent. We're going to have Shadow Scizor against us in the lead. Of course, resisted fast moves from the opponent, which I will utilize as I can go for the Night Slash, which is maybe even enough to knock them out. Let's find out. We will not find out because the opponent uses a shield. Very smart move, as I can go for another fast move here. Getting some free energy in is, in my opinion, more valuable. And we can swap out into our Gourgeist as we gonna see the immediate response here of the opponent's Bastion. It's going to be, of course, the most exciting battle of them all. But basically, for this matchup itself, we would have two very solid answers still. One that is very good defensively and one that's very good offensively. So yeah, it's like Bastion itself is not really an issue at all. And even this matchup is quite a bit closer than you maybe would have expected. Look at them, they're like in deep red health, which is kind of cool. And now in comes the Clodsire, which is just going to be here in order to try to knock them out. But they go into the Scizor. I can knock out the Scizor now, which is perfect. This should be enough. It's going to be shielded anyway. Now it should be enough because this... yeah, Night Slash is hopefully going to be able to finish up this battle. And it is, and in the back, there is going to be, well, let's find out, the Bastion again, which is fine for us. We're going to be able to use a shield. It is going to be the Stone Edge, and we're going to try our best to go for the full farm. Okay, I'm fine actually. We're going to be able to go for the Night Slash here. This is totally okay for us because what we have, you know, is another Night Slash, which is going to be up against a Jellicent, which is exactly why we kept the move here. We didn't know about the Jellicent, but I had a feeling, and now it should be alright. I don't think that the opponent gets to 2 serves before I can go for 1 Earthquake. As the Earthquake is going to land here, we are going to be able to knock them out, and we can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have a Lanturn. Lanturn is going to be a Pokemon that I want to destroy, but I don't think that I'm having a great team matchup so far. We're kind of getting hardwalled again. Altaria is actually very difficult for us to deal with, as yeah, they're going to have access to Sky Attack, which is super effective against us, obviously. And yeah, as we're gonna see, this is going to be a bit awkward. We're going to have to use a shield here as well. This is going to be fine. It's going to be okay, because we can still go for another Shadow Ball. That's basically the thing. Yeah, I'm still going to keep energy for later on. So like even us investing now both of the shields, we kind of force shields from the opponent, which is something I like to force. Like it's something that is really good for us at least. But they're going to use 2 shields against 2 Shadow Balls. I would have reached actually another Seed Bomb if I would have just been for Seed Bomb straight away. But again, like we don't ever know if the opponent actually is going to shield or not. We can here go ahead and go for the full farm down against the opponent's Altaria. But as we will see, they're going to go for their charge move. It's going to be the Sky Attack. It does hurt a tiny bit, but we're going to end up with an Earthquake worth of energy. And this is kind of where things kind of change, as they're just going to completely hardwall the rest of my team. Like there is not anything I can really do here. As the Night Slash comes in, we have absolutely 0 play there. So yeah, good game to the opponent. There's nothing more that I can really add towards it. I just gonna forfeit here now because again, there's nothing more we can help here. So let's move on to the next one. Where are we going to encounter the Togekiss in the lead, which is actually a bad lead because they're going to outspeed us, but then again, not a bad lead because I don't know, Togekiss is going to be alright for us to do offensive damage, at least against us. So like, it's a bit awkward. Like actually, what I mean with like the outspears, it's kind of, they're more consistent, I feel like, and it's a bit more awkward to play around it. We do generate energy faster than the opponent. We do need only 40 energy here, of course, for the Hydro Cannon. But of course, we're going to go down so fast with our Pokemon as well. So I'm going to be forced to swap on into the Gourgeist, which is now taking the Dazzling Gleam. We can go for a big charge move here as well. This is going to be fine. This is going to allow us to go for a Shadow Ball. And in comes the Gastrodon, which we are not going to get to the move in time anymore, which now seals kind of the deal here because there's not a lot that you can do in a position like this. I can still go for a Night Slash, but that's not going to work out here, right? Like it's absolutely not going to work out. We're going to have here the swap out as well. Here, Clodsire is going to be able to just have to take that. I have to shield here the Water Pulse, of course. I might be able to still knock them out with an Earthquake, but then like there's still another Pokemon left in the back. It's going to be looking a little bit dire here. Body Slam's coming in. I try to overfarm as much as possible, and now we can go ahead and go for the big boom. Earthquake is going to knock them out. In the back, it's going to be Dusknoir. Good game. Nothing that I can really do here. Our fast move is going to be resisted, and yeah, with that, we are kind of not doing a lot of damage, and they do quite a bit of damage, and so good game to the opponent. But my favorite game is yet to come, so let's take a look at that one. we are getting walled. There is not a lot that I can do with Greninja against Hakamo, and so I swap out of here into Gourgeist, a Pokemon that also does melee damage that's resisted. But what we can do is we can let the move go through, the Rock Tomb is coming in, and we can go for the Shadow Ball, which is gonna do some solid damage against the opponent, but it's not gonna be enough to knock them out, and so I rather go ahead and shield? I don't. Rock Tomb is coming in, and I'm gonna let this move go. And so I can go down to my Clodsire. Clodsire resists everything that this Pokemon has. They could have access to like Dragon Claw, but nobody's really running it right now. You'd rather go ahead and go for coverage with this Pokemon. And so here we will see the Brick Break coming through again. We had -2 defenses. We can go for the full farm down, and let's see what's coming up next. It's going to be here the big Earthquake landing, and this is going to not knock them out straight away, but it's going to get them low, and in comes the Charger Bug, and this is where things go interesting, because of course Charger Bug against Greninja, this is not a matchup where I want to really be in, but we have the shield advantage, and we're going to have now a very good matchup with our Clodsire. The issue is, again, this is not a matchup I want to be in, as well because of my HP that I have. I do resist everything that they have though, which is the only way of us surviving here somehow, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to win this battle, because while we have 2 shields left, look at our HP, and they still have Empoleon, and Empoleon could in theory still get another move, and so I am kind of forced to use my shield here, which I didn't really like, because it's going to be the Scizor, and hope that I can somehow knock them out there with a Stone Edge, and they go straight into their Empoleon, which is exactly what I was hoping for, because I do think I still survive another hit here. We have to, because it's going to be now landing against us, but luckily the Scizor is not going to be enough to take us down while we can take them down, and this is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.